Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Tom. Welcome back to the Recessionist. Today I wanted to make an update video, discuss a couple different things. Number one, my model is freaking out. It's moved more in the last week and a half since pretty much November, early December when I started this channel, started this model, started my videos. But first up, before we get to that, before we get to what's going on, as you probably know, the markets are freaking out. I've been predicting that since early December, saying, things are not looking good. And I decided to make an AI model to predict when the recession was going to happen. It said 3 to 9 months. December, January, February. Look, month 3, we're in that range. In my opinion, the recession is probably starting right now. According to my model, we're just getting close. But before we go into more detail about that, I did want to talk about this guy. I used to watch this guy, cryptocurrently, just because he had some good takes last year. Let's be honest. Everyone is sometimes right. But what really turned me off from this channel is when he was wrong and never really admitted it. Basically, what happened is he thought Bitcoin was going to keep going up and up and up, maybe 130, 150K, and then it just dumped. He didn't call it. Nobody else called it. And that's just kind of what happened. Reading the tea leaves, pretty much. Works until it doesn't. The funny thing about this guy, he's always starting off every video saying, hey guys, I'm so excited to make this video. Bitcoin is finally where I predicted it to be. Everyone during the yen carry trade or whatever was so scared. I wasn't panicking. He lays out his resume every time before a video, but he just changes his resume to fit whatever narrative he wants. But the reason I'm talking about this guy now is because cryptocurrency is in a free fall. Again, I predicted this in December. I told you guys, Bitcoin and crypto, the 4-year cycle is over. A lot of people said, and no, I don't mean that it's going on. I meant that the cycle's done and you're going to have to wait another 4 years. The 4-year cycle is real. There's some people saying it wasn't real, that Bitcoin could just keep going up, a super cycle, or just keep going on. But no, I never believed that. Nobody else really believed that. And it just kind of fell off went crazy in October and never really returned. Anyways, though, the reason I'm talking about this guy's video today is because he's saying he's buying Bitcoin. He's telling people essentially to buy Bitcoin from his video. Of course, they say, hey, this isn't financial advice. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm just buying Bitcoin because it's in this arbitrarily cheap region. It's the 50% extension from the 200-week moving average. That doesn't mean shit. Technical analysis does not matter when the macroeconomics of the world are plummeting. Not only that, guys, but my big point here is, why would it be cheap? It's not cheap. 70K Bitcoin is what it was before Trump artificially pumped it for an entire year, then dumped it every other week. You want to know what I think? I don't think Bitcoin is going to stay here for that long at all. I think it's going to keep going lower and lower and lower. You want to know what I think? Want to know what I think it's going to go to? Maybe sub 20K. Maybe 15K, maybe even 10K. Why do I think that? Well, that's because Bitcoin has never seen a real recession. Bitcoin was made after the 2008 housing crisis, pretty much just after it, partly because of the 2008 banking corruption that was going on. Banks were pretty much aware of what they were doing, scamming poor people. They got away with it pretty much because the economy kind of needed them to get away with it. And of course, all the rich people in the world get away with everything. But Bitcoin was kind of made after this as a way to disentangle, basic people could disentangle themselves from the corruptness of the markets. Now look where we are. It's being pumped and dumped by Trump and all his billionaire cronies. So I don't know if that really worked, unfortunately. Just like everything kind of gets corrupted in capitalistic markets, it kind of did happen in Bitcoin, unfortunately. But my main point there being is that why would 70K-ish or 60K-ish Bitcoin be cheap? We haven't seen a recession. We don't know how Bitcoin acts during recession. You saw how low it went during 2020, during that 1-month recession of COVID, before everything went back and people in the tech companies started hiring like crazy. Remember 2020? Bitcoin went down to I think a little bit under 20K, or no, that was before the rise. Let's just look right here. Let's do max here. Okay, so let's look here. So let's look at this bull market right here. So we had COVID was right around here. So it went around 8K. So it was, the former high was around It went all the way from like 12 to 8 or 6 actually. 6 is probably the low. So it like 50%ed. And that was during a like 1 month recession. So let's say Bitcoin's like at 71K right now. What's 50% of that? Let's say we had another kind of supply shock like that. Chances are it's not going to be 50% because that was like an artificial down and then went back up, as you can see here, guys. I think it's going to be more grueling than that. But that's not to say that it can't go down the same amount. 50% of 71 would be around 30K. But that was not a real recession. COVID was not a real recession. It was just a hiccup in the supply chain. The world went crazy. Everyone panicked. And as you see, this is not a recession. Going from 7K all the way up to, 60K, that's not a recession, guys. That's not a recession. Since Bitcoin was created, there has not been a recession. So let's see. Let's see here, guys. So let's say we hit a actual recession, guys. I'm thinking it honestly looks like we probably could go back to these levels. We're never going to go back this low. I don't think we're going to go back that low. There's just too much money invested in it. But I honestly think anywhere between 20 to 30K is a reasonable place to buy Bitcoin. Maybe it could go lower. I personally am not going to buy it at 20 to 30K. I'm personally going to be buying all the AI companies once they go down another 50%. Look at Oracle. It's now 40% since I started this channel. Guess how my treasury bonds are doing? Maybe 2%, 1% down. I haven't really lost any money at all because I've just been investing in these treasury bonds because they're going to go up like crazy when these long-term treasury bonds are going to go up like crazy when we have a recession because everyone's going to be fleeing that. They're going to get out of these investments and flee to that. You guys are wondering which ones I recommend? Well, you could go IEF, pretty safe option. If you want to go even more risky, something like EDV or ZROS, those are going to be pretty risky, but the returns can be crazy. There's also a couple other options out there. Maybe just hold cash, savings account right now. But that's kind of my thesis for that. Why I think these people telling you they're buying Bitcoin right now, who knows if they're even buying it. They probably just want something clickbaity. But just a little warning from me. I don't think the bottom is in. We'll see how this take ages. So far, I've been right since this channel started. I told you guys things were going to get nasty, and look where we are. Let's go ahead and look at my nice market tracker I just updated today on my website. If you guys are interested, go to recessionistpro.com to see exactly the fear and exactly the number we're at right now in terms of when recession is coming. Sorry for the burp. I just ate pizza. But guys, let's go ahead and look at some of this. Look at this. I put this on this website. You guys can have access to this. Really nice. You can filter by week, 24 hours, stuff like that. So 3 months is pretty much where the channel was created. And this is kind of how things are looking. So yeah, you might be wondering, hey, Tom, why did you name your website Recessionist Pro? Well, I think it's pretty obvious now, isn't it? Look at this. Oracle, 41% down since this channel was created. Intuit, 32%. Netflix, 27%. AMD, 21.9%. Microsoft, 18%. Some of these good companies. Tesla down 12%. Nvidia, 10%. Amazon, almost 7%. And this is only the beginning, my friends. Of course, some of these companies have done better. I've made videos talking about why some of these healthcare companies and things like that. Some of these companies like Pepsi, people are still buying Pepsi, Coke. A lot of these Procter and Gamble. A lot of these things tend to do well during recessions, so people are kind of moving stuff into there. So sure, if you invested in Texas Instruments, is that the company that makes the calculator? Man, you'd be rich right now. But yeah, a lot of these companies are the AI stocks, which I think are going to be pretty good buys after the recession hits. I don't think we're even in the recession right now yet. Maybe starting it. But if we even look at a week, you can see here, guys, AMD 21% down just by week. Oracle down 11%. IBM, Nvidia down 8% just this last week. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Stay tuned on the channel for more updates. I'll let you guys know what's going on. If you want exactly what's going on, go to recessionistpro.com. It's just $10 a month. You get access to that nice little market tracker. You get access to data charts, some forecasting, investment ideas. And of course, you get to see exactly why I'm predicting and when I'm predicting in the number I'm predicting of our risk level right now. All right, guys, stay tuned, and I'll see you again very soon. Let's get the thumbnail.